Leptons.
$1 million. $500.
$100,000.
$55,000.
$100,000. $100,000. $17,000. $90,000 between all.
$1,000.
$2,000. $2.5 million. $1 and $2.5 million. $50,000.
$50,000.
$10,000. $50,000. $50,000. $100,000 to film.
$20,000. $50,000. $60,000, $70,000 on this.
$10,000.
Is a $280 and $10,000. That $5,000 joke. $20,000 check. $20,000. $100. It's $100 for $400. $1,800. $500, $1,000, $50, $250, $400, $2,000, $1,000, $100,000 to
$30,000. I
want $100. Need $10,000. $1,000. You get $10,000 to $600 or $100,000.
$1 million. $1 million. $50, $200. $150, $100. $0. $100. $100. $1,000. $200. $1 million. $10,000. $100,000. $1 million. $10 million. $1 million. $10,000. $1,000 is or $1,000. $1,000 this, $1,000 this, $1,000 this, $100. $700,000. $1 million. $700,000. The $400,000. $50,000. These $1 million and $700,000. $440,000. $400,000. $10 million. $690,000. $690,000. $10 million. $10 million. $10 million. $10 million. $5 million. $1 million is $700,000. $10,000. $10,000. $26,000. $26,000. $6,000. $25. $0 says $1,000. Get a $0. $10,000. $10,000. $20,000. $20,000. $40,000. $20,000. $0. Go dollar. $2,000. $10,000. $10,000. $10,000. $8,071. $1,920. $9 left. $1,900. $600. $6 million. $10,000. $5,000. $10,000. $10,000. $10,000. $1,000, $20,000, $10,000, $30,000, $14,439, $14,000, $20,000. $20,000, $20,000, $10,000, $60,000, $60,000, $1,000, $60,000, $60,000 or $60,000, $90,000, $100, $60,000, $1,000, $10,000, $15,000, $15,000, $100,000, $100,000, $100,000, $1 million, $10,000, $10,000. $10,000, $20,000, $1,000, $10,000, $1,000, $10,000, $5,000, $5,000, you're $5,000 to $10,000, $10,000, $1,462, $3,000, $3,000, $50, $1,000, $100, $1,000, $10,000, $20,000, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million, $100, $100, $100, get $1,000, $1,000, $10,000. $10,000, $20,000, $20,000, $1,000, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $10,000, $5,000, $100, $100, $100, $600, $1,000, $25, $6,000, $6,000, $15,000, $10,000, $10,000, $1,000, $30,000, $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, for $870,000, $200,000, $100,000, for $160,000, $5,000, $10,000, $40,000, $600,000, $1, $10, $50, $200,000, $375, $375, $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, the $40,000, $10,000, the $40,000, $40,000, $40,000, $10,000, $40,000, $10,000, $40,000, $160,000, $70,000, $70,000, $70,000, $70,000, $70,000, $70,000, $1 million, $20 million, $1 million, $50,000, $15,000, $10,000, $1,000, $1,000, $10,000, $730,000, $50,000, $1 million, $50,000, $3,000, $3,000, $350,000, $700,000, $700,000, $70,000, $70,000, $2,000, $5,000, $1, $1, $2, and $8, $16, $64, $125, $250 is $250.
$250, $1,000, $70,000, $70,000, $70,000, $3,000, $3,000, $4,000, $4,000. This is $5,000, $70,000, $70,000, $3,000, $5,000, $6,000, $70,000, $70,000, $70,000. Do a $10,000, $20,000, $100,000, and a $20,000, $1 million. The $400, $350, $500, an $850 hoodie, $600, $300, or $1,100, $13, $10,000. Spent $880. $3,999. $10,000, $6,595. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. $10,000, $10,000, $10,000, $15,000, $10,000, $595, $595, $178 for $7 million. $5,000, $5,000, $5,000, $9,000, $5,000, $5,000, $5,000, $5,000, $5,000, $5,000, $10,000, $10,000, $200,000, $15,000,